The modern superbike industry is locked in an escalating arms race. Manufacturers are constantly chasing peak horsepower, building engines that only hit their strides screaming at 15,000 RPMs. To keep those machines stable at nearly 200 miles per hour, engineers are forced to make restrictive design choices. They bolt on massive aerodynamic winglets and build chassis frames as rigid as possible to handle racetrack loads. The result is a motorcycle optimized entirely for the smooth asphalt of a closed circuit. Take one onto a normal, bumpy public road, and the ride is punishing. The power lives so high in the rev range that it's rarely accessible, and the stiff frame jolts the rider over every imperfection. That is what makes the new Norton Manx R so unusual. Parent company TVS invested £200 million to save this 127-year-old British brand, and this flagship is the first product of that resurgence. Look closely at the bodywork. There are no carbon fiber winglets. The engineers intentionally ignored the requirements for top-tier superbike racing and threw out the top speed constraints that dictate modern design. Norton is betting its survival on a machine that actively rejects the established track racing formula. They built a superbike strictly for the street. Instead of chasing peak power with a highly strung, high-revving engine, Norton went big. They engineered a massive 1200cc 72-degree V4 engine to prioritize usable capacity over extreme engine speeds. They also designed a unique phased pulse firing order. The irregular intervals between cylinder combustions give the rear tire a fraction of a second to regain grip between power strokes, improving mechanical traction before electronic aids ever need to step in. This chart shows power delivery. Standard superbikes have a flat low end, spiking late. The Manx R pushes out 130 Nm, with 75% available down at 5,000 RPM. This highlighted mid-range is where riders spend their time, translating to immediate acceleration without dropping gears. By sacrificing theoretical top speeds to gain accessible mid-range grunt, Norton created a powertrain built for the dynamic flow of public roads, rather than the stopwatch of a racetrack. On a perfectly paved racetrack, extreme chassis rigidity is an asset. On a potholed country lane, it's a liability that bounces the tires off the tarmac. Norton engineered lateral and torsional flex directly into the Manx R's single-piece, CNC-machined aluminum frame. When hitting a bump mid-corner, the frame acts as a mechanical filter. It yields just enough to absorb the harshness, keeping tires planted while translating road texture into physical feedback. Discarding track-level stiffness means road imperfections no longer upset the handling. Instead, they become valuable data that the rider can feel and respond to. Engineering a chassis that flexes perfectly requires absolute consistency in production. Norton moved away from past assembly methods plagued by quality issues. Inside their new Solihull headquarters, production is a data-driven operation focused on industrial discipline. Mechanics use smart, Bluetooth-enabled torque wrenches that log the exact tension and number of rotations for every fastener on the bike, ensuring each component is tightened to the precise engineering spec. That mechanical precision is paired with active linear potentiometers in the suspension. These sensors read the road conditions and adjust the damping rates every 3 milliseconds. This granular traceability for every bolt is the mandatory foundation that ensures the Manx R's mechanical theories actually hold up under the stress of the street. Building a motorcycle specifically to handle imperfect roads is how Norton originally made its name during the golden era of the 1950s Isle of Man TT. The legendary Norton Manx dominated that grueling 37-mile public road circuit. It didn't win by having the most raw horsepower on the grid, but by offering superior handling over thousands of bumps, dips, and changing cambers. The secret was the iconic featherbed frame, which gave riders confidence and control on those unpredictable surfaces. The 2026 Manx R is executing the exact same contrarian strategy. It achieves its performance through usable road handling and rider confidence, rather than raw peak power. By refusing to conform to the narrow design box mandated by superbike racing, Norton is carving out an entirely different segment. They are proving that high-end performance doesn't require buyers to endure a stiff, compromised race replica on their Sunday ride. Norton is staking this multi-million-pound brand relaunch on the belief that riders will prioritize this tactile road connection over the theoretical advantages of a spec sheet race bike. Norton has resurrected a British icon, using modern industrial technology to fulfill a design philosophy that has proven